Welcome to Module 2 of this class. In this module, we will be writing our first formal essay. Please check the dates and make sure you turn them in on time. You will be using full MLA formatting, and you'll notice on the assignment itself, it tells you exactly what you must do, so please do follow the directions carefully. The subject we'll be writing on is advertising. And advertising is an interesting subject because almost everyone thinks they already know something about it. And by the way, if you're only thinking about advertising in terms of what's on television or in magazines, well, those are kind of passé now. And we're seeing lots and lots of other advertising that's done on the internet or in the popular culture that we already take in. So you see product placement, things like that being used to advertise products. So don't think that you're off the hook for advertising. Advertising is very, very expensive. It always has been. And so every ad has a tremendous amount of thought put into it. And it is always very carefully designed. So what you will be doing this module is actually deciphering advertising. So please do read the chapter in Solomon's book. It's actually very, very well written. Solomon does a masterful job of tearing apart the advertising. One of the things you must understand is that there's a contradiction at the core of American culture. We believe in this idea of equality, but we're always trying to get ahead. And advertisers have latched onto that for their dear lives because what they essentially do is they always offer you something that'll let you one up your neighbors. And again, we fall for this. It works. It's a standard part of American culture. The other thing, though, that advertisers do is they understand what buttons to push on us. And one of the big ones is that they are not selling you the product itself. What they're selling you is the feeling you get from falling behind. I understand that sounds very negative, and it is. They're essentially selling you a negative, not a positive, a negative. Meaning, if I want to sell you a product that will make you look better, I have to first convince you that you're ugly. So I'm not selling you the better look, I'm selling you that you're ugly. I have to convince you of that. And then once I convince you that you're ugly, you will buy anything to undo that damage. And you'll notice this being used constantly. The term of art in this case is something called commodification. That's taking something and turning it into a commodity. And in this case, feelings are being turned into a commodity. And you see the most egregious examples of personal attack when it comes to advertising products. Are you man enough to smoke? Are you free and independent enough as a woman to smoke? That was a very typical advertising campaign for cigarettes. For cars, they always sell the idea that there is some hole in your life that only speed or size or power will fill. Okay? For beauty products are horrible. If you want to feel ugly, read Cosmo magazine. Okay? Because it's constantly telling you all of the things that are wrong with you. There are no buttons that will not be pushed in this process. If you want to push sexism, go right ahead. If you want to push racism, go right ahead. Obviously, I don't mean that in a literal sense. I mean the companies that use these advertisements feel free to do so. Even in the most enlightened circumstances, there is a negative being pushed here. So please use your analytical skills. And here's where the trick is. The ads were not designed to be analyzed. They are in fact designed to go past your conscious mind and for you to just take them in. But they're designed to make you feel like you're being very clever in figuring them out. So they'll have tricks in there. They'll have little puzzles. They'll have Easter eggs. They'll have all kinds of things to make you feel like you've accomplished something. But all you've really done is taken the ad in and essentially bought into it. I'm going to give one example of this in a couple of moments. But just be aware of that this is in fact literally being done to you. If you want to see it again in action, by the way, you can check one of the other videos in this section where I talk about Listerine. The video is actually about the history of the Coca-Cola bottle, and that's actually part of the advertising for Coca-Cola. But along the way, I talk about how Listerine was sold in this country. Everyone assumes Listerine is a mouthwash. Listerine was originally sold as an antiseptic and as a floor cleaner. And somehow they managed to convince people that they had to put this stuff in their mouths. And it worked. In fact, an entire product category was invented. So when you look at the advertisements and you take your first glance at them, you assume that you're being very sophisticated because you're getting some meaning from it. You need to dig deeper. Always assume that there is an attack upon you in the advertisement itself. That's when you start to be able to decipher them, okay? So we're gonna do this a couple times over the course of the next couple of weeks, but I want you to start doing it on your own, and the discussion board is gonna ask you to do it as well, okay?